This short how-to video is one in a series developed for service executives in product companies where exploring or building service capabilities is a business priority.
Our topic in this video is how to stop giving away services and make the transition from free to fee. In my past writings, I've explained in detail that there are 5 strategies for transitioning from free to fee, but sadly, 4 of them don't work. To make the best use of everyone's time, I will just focus on the one that is the most effective most of the time and share best practices in making it work. The strategy: productize the old and sell the new. Ponder point: people will fight to keep what they have, so don't try to take away something they feel they deserve. The beauty of this strategy is that it takes nothing away from your customers or your sellers. In this scenario, all or most of the services that have been given away continue to be given away, but in a cheaper, more manageable fashion. In addition, a new portfolio of value-adding services are developed, marketed, and sold. The other very positive psychology here is that it gives people an additional choice. And people like choices because it puts them more in control. The challenge is it takes quite a bit of work in 2 areas. The first component deals with how do we productize the old? In this scenario, the focus is to standardize the types of services that have been given away in the past to minimize the cost of these services and create a comparison that will make the new, fee-based, value-added services seem very desirable. For example, when hoping to land a deal, in the past, sales may have given away assessments that had no definition of time or quality. In other words, sales would have had a pre-sale specialist do the assessment, or someone from the professional services group, or maybe they would even do the assessment themselves. It was based upon the availability of qualified people and the internal persuasion skills of the seller. Depending on the situation, it may have lasted anywhere from 2 days to 5 days at the customer's site. The quality of the assessment was totally dependent upon the person performing it. In this situation, the goal of delivering an assessment may have been accomplished, but it was probably done in a haphazard, non-standardized manner, one that was not repeatable and one of questionable quality. So the recommended shift is from an ill-defined, get it done when we can, at the quality level of whomever we can get to do it, on an average 5-day assessment, to a 1-day virtual assessment covering, say, the 10 most important areas, delivered in a standardized professional document conducted by a qualified trained professional. This new service and the other productized services, for example, quick start installation for a software product, online core training for a customer administrator, are developed by services and marketed, but are categorized as a cost of sales and owned by the sales function. The second component is to sell the new. Building a high-value portfolio of services offerings that customers want and will pay for, and one that you will make good money on, takes considerable effort. Plus, correctly defining, packaging, and pricing these services may take skills not currently available in your organization. In my book, Seriously Selling Services, I spent an entire chapter outlining the services portfolio framework and the 10-step approach for what it takes to do it right. Now let me shift gears and talk about the 5 best practices in transitioning from free to fee. Number 1, conduct a readiness review. Spend some time up front to confirm that transitioning from free to fee is worth the effort. If you don't have enough information to convince yourself and other executives, expand your review until you get the facts you need. Number 2, radically change the selling compensation plan. This is really quite simple. Change rewards from maximizing sales volume to maximizing profitability of the total sale, or at least to meet a minimum profitability benchmark. If enforced, those same sellers who wouldn't think twice about throwing in a year's worth of support or 100 hours of consulting to clinch a deal, now, with calculator in hand, will approach every sale from a different perspective. If they decide to give away or discount services, they do so at their own peril, as they endanger taking their spouse to the President's Council trip in Barcelona or jeopardize maxing out their total compensation. Of course, 2 things must happen, and they're not easy to do. First, get the executive team to agree on changing the sales incentive focus from driving volume alone to driving profitable revenue. It requires a fact-loaded, everybody wins business case to sell this shift, plus some patience. It also raises the important discussion of blended margins and the overall profitability of solution sales. But once senior management sees the overall financial impact, they will become true believers of the cause. Second, make sure that the sales force is capable of selling services appropriately. Could they do it if you put a gun to their head? Number 3, partner with the Vice President of Sales to determine acceptable giveaways. Yes, you should charge for services, but there will always be exceptions. It's better to know the rules up front, and even better if the Vice President of Sales is the one in charge of managing them. 4, make it a mandatory job requirement that your sellers present the benefits of services at the time of product sale, and customers have to say no not to buy them. A common but powerful example is when buying products online, the customer must accept or decline a service contract before completing the product buying transaction. This simple act will almost magically increase your attach rate 10% or more. Number 5, trust but verify. Use follow-up customer satisfaction phone calls to confirm that sales did, in fact, position services up front as described, and report this data throughout the organization. Letting go of a seller who does not follow this policy sends a very strong message throughout the organization. In conclusion, transitioning from free to fee is a major change, and it may not be for everyone. It is worth the time to conduct a readiness review to determine the probability of success, the factors needing the most attention, and an estimate of the effort needed to make it work. For the majority of organizations making this transition, only one strategy is effective. This strategy consists of 2 components. First, streamlining and standardizing a core set of services that you will continue to provide at no cost. And second, creating a robust, high-value portfolio of new offerings to give your customers choices. If this strategy is wholeheartedly adopted, giving away service will become the exception, not the rule.
For a deeper dive into this subject, read Alex's book, Seriously Selling Services, or contact Alex directly.